Hello guys, welcome to Texas Masbatenia lovers. And today I'm doing a video to review the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active. I received this watch, or I buy this watch about 2 weeks ago, and I know how to use it, so I think I can do a fair review on it. So we'll go ahead and dive into the review here in just a moment. So guys, this is just a stock image of the watch taken from the Samsung website. Pretty cool looking. We'll get into the specs. So guys, this image is courtesy of GSM Arena. Just basically shows the overall specs. 1.4-inch screen, no camera, 1.5 gig of RAM, very small battery, 340 mAh to the battery, and 44 millimeter or 40 millimeter, the one I got. Is 40 millimeter, the smaller one. So this is the second page of the spec sheet. The top part's inaccurate. It doesn't have an LTE network. This is a Wi-Fi model. Released in 2018, August. It's available for sale everywhere as of last September. It goes into dimensions, the build. We know that. It's not going to have a SIM slot. The display is Super AMOLED, 1.4 inches. Resolution's 380 by 380. Corning Gorilla Glass 3, so it's not the newest Gorilla Glass. It's running on Tizen, which is one of their own operating systems. It's got a dual-core processor, an Exynos, it looks like. The memory is 4 gigs internal and 1.5 gig of RAM. About all you need for a watch. And this is the last page of the specs. Of course, it doesn't have a camera. Maybe someday they will. Has a loudspeaker, of course not a jack. It's telling you the Wi-Fi specs. It has Bluetooth 5.0. It has GPS, NFC. Does not have a radio. Of course not a USB connector. It has accelerometer, sensors, gyro, heart rate, barometer, natural language commands, and dictation. Non-removable battery. It does support wireless charging. Talks about the black, silver, gold color it goes through, different models. Price is $234. It's a little pricier, which I paid for it, and it just depends on what sale you're getting. But specs are pretty impressive just for a smartwatch. So continuing on with the review, the one that I chose is the 40 millimeter model. There's a bigger one that's 44 millimeters. To me, it's just too big on the arm, not very good if you're exercising, but some people like the very large one. So this one, the display will stay on for about 10 seconds, 20 seconds when you turn it on. And then to turn it off, you just simply put your palm over it. For some reason, it's not listening to me. I think you have to have proper contact with your palm on there. I'm not doing an unboxing, but basically this is the case that it comes in. It's very simple. All you get is the watch and the charging port. The charging port, or also known as charging stand, is a very simple magnetic contraption. The device hooks up simply to a USB connection. See, the autofocus is going crazy on this Canon camera. But basically, you would lay the watch directly on top the charging port, and you have to make good contact. I'm noticing sometimes on this watch, if you do not make good contact on top the charging port, the watch might try to act like it's coming on and off, on and off. If it's doing that, it's not going to charge the battery. In fact, it's going to drain it down to zero. So make sure that the watch makes good contact and it just lays on top of there. There's kind of like a little magnetic connection to it. You may have to sometimes reboot it if it misbehaves, but charging port takes about 2.5 hours to charge the watch. The other way to charge the watch, I'm not going to demonstrate it, is if you have the Galaxy S10 phones, S Plus, or if you have the Note 10, these have wireless power share on them. If you go to the menu by swiping from the top and you find the wireless power share, turn it on, You lay the phone down on a flat surface. You put the watch on top of there, wait for the watch to indicate to you that it is actually charging. And again, it takes about 2.5 hours. Of course, you will be draining your battery on your phone. This is a little temperamental if you've got a case, because you are a couple millimeters above the actual, there's like a magnet or a coil in there. So you may have to move the watch around a little bit on the surface to get that wireless power share to work properly. Okay, so basically, again, this is the watch. A couple ways to turn it on. Now, one thing I did do, there's an option in there as to where it will just come on automatically if you flip your wrist in a certain motion. You don't really want to use that feature because it will run your battery down. Think of how many times a day you're flipping your wrist around. And turning that automatic on from motion does not affect your exercise capabilities. So basically, to turn this watch on, you would double tap it. Very simple to move around in the different menus. These are all like widgets. Again, it looks like the autofocus is going crazy. This is your main menu. It's going to be here. It's just showing you all your different apps. Yes, it has a, looks like a camera app. There's even an app where you could control the camera on your phone, and autofocus is going crazy again. Sometimes I'll have to do manual focus. So this is how you get to all your apps. You even have a gallery. So basically, you can upload pictures to this. If you want to look at a picture, you just click on the pic. Oh, you got to do it properly. If you want to go backspace or go back, that's the back button. So it'll go to the previous menu from before. There's a picture of me in the Philippines. And then if you want to back up again, you go to that. That's just kind of a collage of all your pictures. You want to back up again, you're at your main menu. If you hit that button on the side, you'll go back to the home screen. And again, to flip through the menus, you just go through there. There's kind of like an all-in-one health view app, monitoring your heart rate, your sleep, and anything else you want to put in there. If you click on this thing in the middle, it shows you the rest of your apps. So the apps on this fit on 3 different screens. If you back up again, of course, you can go to your home screen. There's a button down here. This button, there's another button on the side. There's 2 buttons on the side. One is your back button, the bigger one. The little one will take you straight to your menu. So if you go back and if you hit this button down here in the bottom corner, that's like your menu button. If you want to go into settings on this watch, you just swipe down. That's all your settings. You could put it on night mode. You have brightness. Yes, this thing can make and receive telephone calls. So that's like your volume for your telephone calls. You have a brightness control. And then you have some deeper settings. If it goes off, you just tap the screen, swipe downward to get to your menu. There's some deeper settings. One of my favorite ones is watch faces. So you can literally go in and then where it says select watch face, all the watch faces that you've downloaded are going to be available to you, like the current one I have now. If I want to select another watch face, I just click on it, and that watch face is applied. And then you would hit this button to go back. To turn the watch off or get the screen to go off, just put your palm over it. Of course, you got to do it properly. And then to wake it back up, you can either push the buttons. You got to make sure your palm is over it properly, and you could double tap to wake it up. Let's go back to the settings. The settings has, basically it'll tell you, if you see at the top, again, it's kind of blurry on this watch. You have your battery status, Bluetooth status. It's telling you the Wi-Fi is on. If you swipe to the left or right, you'll get more settings. It even has a flashlight. Turn your Wi-Fi on and off. You can put it in airplane mode over here if you're on a flight. You could go into a battery mode. You could tell this watch to pretty much lock itself if you're underwater, if you don't want it coming on. If you're swimming, yeah, this watch is Water resistant, I do believe up to 50 meters or something like that. Let's put it this way, it's pretty good, and you're not going to be swimming that deep anyway unless you're a diver or something. Again, it likes to save batteries. It only stays on about 20 seconds. So there's 3 screens here. There's you can have Bluetooth headphones. This thing does stream music. You can store music. You could turn GPS on and off. That's going to eat your battery. I suggest if you have your phone with you, keep that GPS off. And you saw that other one there. I think you can mute. You could have the thing have a speaker running. That autofocus is going batty. But, okay. So to get back to the main screen. So that's basically how you move through the watch. This watch is going to give you about 2.5 days of on time under moderate use. I'm not really exercising much, so I don't know exactly how it would behave if I was in doing a lot of exercise routines, which I really need to get to. But if you're just wearing it overnight, playing with it, checking the time, checking notifications, things like that. I suspect if you're using it to make phone calls a lot, and it actually does make phone calls, it probably will drain the battery a little bit. So getting onto the phone call, kind of a sidebar subject, it actually does work. You can hear the person talking. You have no privacy, of course. If you want to hook up Bluetooth headset to it, I suspect if you do calls, your battery is going to be gone. So it's cool to know if your phone is in another room, it's going to tell you the calls. If you do look at this here, you do have your exercise modes. You could go in. It'll tell you, your stats for running and things like that. Say 3, 2, 1. If you want to start a run, now it's timing your run. And then you got to click finish, I guess, to get out of there. Finish workout, so you told it it's done doing its workout. And then you have cycling, swimming, and you could add other routines onto there. This heart rate thing is going crazy. That's not my heart rate. I'm not ready to go to the hospital. It says, 90, 93 on there, or something like that. It's been off my arm for a while, so it's getting some crazy readings. Getting around to that, this is the sensors in the back. You can see that green light flashing. That green light is exactly how it gets your heart rate and other things that it's testing, especially your heartbeat, beats per minute. It's actually firing an infrared, I believe it's an infrared light into a vein or an artery, and it's actually testing that. Or it's either that or it's detecting pulse. It has an array of sensors on there. I can't tell you what all those sensors are for, but I have read on the other reviews, that this definitely has at least 8 sensors. This is one up from the Galaxy Active, the regular Galaxy Active. They released the regular Galaxy Active at the beginning of the year 2019, and they turned right around in 6 months and released the Galaxy Active 2. From what I heard, this thing, the only major differences between the Active 1 and this one is the Active 1 does not have a speaker or a mic, so you can't really talk on it. So this one basically has a speaker and a mic. The displays are the same. I know there's some other differences. I don't have them all memorized, but if you don't care about talking into the phone or hearing your notifications, then Galaxy Active 1 might be a better deal. It's selling right now for about $150. This watch cost me $249. It was on sale. It's usually $299. So I think we've gone through pretty much all the menus. There is more widgets. I see it has a weather, calendar. These are ones I added: alarm, an actual wall calendar. You could tell it how many cups of coffee you drank. I had 2 already. And it stores that in your health information. This is looking at your sleep. And it says 5 hours and 38 minutes. So I guess I didn't sleep too good. And it does know when you're getting up and going to the bathroom. It'll break that sleep into intervals. So if you went to bed at 10, got up and went to the bathroom at 12 a.m. or whatever, it's going to show little line breaks in here showing that your sleep interval was broken. And then, of course, the setting in the health app is set to where you should have 8 hours of sleep. So your detailed reports are going to be in the phone. Now we'll get to the app. These are just your summary. It tells you how many steps I walked today, how many calories I burned, heart rate. This is about elevation or something. I didn't go anywhere. It just talks about climbing. And if you want to add a new widget, there's a screen for adding a new widget. So let's look a little bit at the health app. I'm going to set that up. So we're looking here at my phone's home screen. This is not the standard launcher. This is the Galaxy S10 Plus. The application that I'm using here to control the watch is basically in my COM folder, and it's the Galaxy wearable. So the main thing is this app is basically telling you what's going on with the watch. You can see at the very top here, top of the screen where it says your battery is 76%. So you right where the picture of the watch was. You have here where you could control your notifications, block, allow. I won't go into every one of those. You can go in and manage your apps. You can go in and remove and add apps. This is all what the watch faces would look like, and these are all the apps on the watch. You could go ahead and download new widgets. You can see right here if there's minus signs. All the ones with the minus signs next to them exist on the phone, and all the ones that you can get have little plus signs next to it. So those are widgets that you can get. You have advanced settings. You could go in there and tell it to go waterlock mode, wake up gesture. You notice how I have wake up gesture turned off right there, kind of toward the middle top of the screen. The touch bezel's turned on. I didn't demonstrate that, did I? So there's a lot of other things. Do not disturb. You can set the times of do not disturb, what time you don't want to be bothering you. If you go into theater mode, that pretty much shuts the watch down except for a white display. You have good night mode. Pretty much you're telling the watch, don't bother you. And then it does have a screen capture. Yes, you can do screenshots. That's at the bottom of the display there. So you can add content to your watch, music, track, images, things like that. You can auto sync, send images. So you can auto sync certain playlists, and you can auto sync images to your watch. I don't know if you want to do that. There's limited memory. You could send emergency requests, and you can do SOS calls, either emergency services. Pretty cool. It does have it has a Find My Watch setting. So basically you could go in there and you could tell it, find the watch. And right now it's going out over the network. And right now you can hear the watch going crazy. So I went ahead and hit the X button on the watch, and it's not finding the watch anymore. What else? I kind of accidentally left the app. Syncing phone settings. You always want to keep these on. You want this watch in sync with your phone and sync your Wi-Fi networks, which means if you're going to a different location, it'll automatically sync up your phone to all the Wi-Fi networks that are saved on your phone, so everything's together. You could check for software update. There's an account and backup on there. By the way, this backs up all your settings to the Samsung Cloud, like all your watch settings and everything that you have on there. What else do we have here? About watch, it just tells you what's going on with the battery, the software information. You might want to keep that install. See at the bottom, unknown apps off, because that could be leading to hacking. You have a user's manual built into there. You have a general setting I kind of skipped. Your speech rate, you can show how fast it's playing the speech back to you, I guess. You can adjust that. You have languages you can change. Accessibility would be some visibility or hearing enhancements on the watch. If you're visually impaired or have a hearing issue, you can go ahead and make adjustments on the watch. So basically, this is how you move around. The coolest thing is in that. So continuing on with the recording here, I'm going to get back into the app. Just want to show it one more time to make sure I close this out. If you click that menu thing up in the corner, you saw the lines in the upper left-hand corner, you can disconnect from your watch, control app notifications. This pretty much tells you certain apps, general notifications, soft. You can turn these notifications on and off at will. The one I tried to show before is your general notifications. So right now, these are your recently used notifications. You can go ahead and send these notifications to the watch or not. The smart thing is don't send too many. Go ahead and use your phone for that. If you send too many notifications to the watch and it's always buzzing all the time, you're going to lose your battery life on there. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of this on-screen demonstration. So I thought I would just go a little bit through the Samsung Health app here. Basically, this is just communicating with the watch. It tells you how many steps I took today. Gives you the graph of how it progressed through the different days. If you go here, it's just telling you all the different data. There's the sleep data that it obtained for the watch. I do see those scroll bars going up and down. There's the phony heart rate. I didn't measure stress. Had 2 cups of coffee today. So it's communicating with the watch. But basically, you need to use the Samsung Health app, which, if you look there, it's this app right there. Okay, guys, I'm kind of done with the on-screen phone demonstration. I want to show something kind of cool on this watch. Again, forgive me for the autofocus. There is an app on here literally to control the camera on your phone. So if you look at carefully, you can actually see what's going on with the camera on your phone. See, if I move the phone around, you can actually have a live video. The purpose of this app is you can actually command, using your watch as a remote control, command the phone to take a picture. So it took 2 pictures of that box. Wow, so cool. So it's just a remote control app for the camera. I think you could even start videos. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that down, put everything back the way it was. So in a nutshell, that's the Galaxy Active 2 smartwatch. My opinion of it, it's a very functional watch. I didn't go into the health settings yet. I may still do that here on this video in a moment here. But just my overall impressions of it, it's a very functional watch. The downside, I would say, is the battery life. You're going to get 1 to 2.5 days depending on your use. The other downside is the sensitivity as far as when you're laying the watch down for charging. Like I was trying to illustrate before, if you want to use wireless power share for the phone, you'd basically go here, go to the settings of the phone, and there's a wireless power share app right there. And it's just telling you, take the watch and put it on top. The phone is actually showing you. So you lay the camera flat, and there's a blue light flashing on the phone saying it's ready. And if you lay the watch down, you'll see the watch, you see that light turn red, the watch comes live. It says, please move the phone to the center of the watch to the center of the phone. You can see it's having some issues. See, it says 75%. But you see it come right back on again. I think it's having trouble connecting because of the case I have on here. It looks like it's more designed for a watch without a case. It's a nice gimmicky feature. You can already see the light went off, so the wireless power share disconnected itself. So I highly recommend using its own charger. You're a little temperamental, but it's going to work every time. The wireless power share, I'm almost certain this case has to come off. So guys, that's pretty much my review on the watch. Sorry it wasn't that organized. I'm not an expert reviewer. But I'll give one more overall impression. If you want something that is really geared heavily toward apps and it being a smartwatch, This is a pretty good balance between a smartwatch and a fitness watch. This has literally hundreds of apps you can get from the Samsung Galaxy Store for wearables. You can download watch faces, widgets, apps. You can transfer your pictures onto this. You can transfer music and playlists to, which I haven't done yet. Make and take phone calls. It has very good water resistance. You just got to watch your battery. And I almost didn't buy this because the main thing that held me off for years and years from buying a smartwatch is I always said, oh, I don't want to put nothing on the battery charger every 2 days. But I saw so many people with these, and I finally said, okay, it's too cool. I finally got to get one. If you're looking for extreme battery life and you want something that's more geared toward health, and maybe not so much of a smartwatch, you can get the Fitbit Versa 2. There's someone at work I know that has it. Very beautiful watch. It has the Super AMOLED display like this. It's not that much of a smartwatch. It's more of a fitness watch, but it has changeable watch faces. You can download apps onto it, and it has a lot more health data than the Samsung. But if you want something that's just more of a balance between a smartwatch and a fitness watch, this is where you go. Just mind your battery. So that's it for this review. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching the video. Please like and subscribe and click the little reminder bell. And until next video, see ya.